In the mid-1950s, Mercedes wanted to build a really fast car transporter to transport their Mercedes W196 Formula 1 cars and the W194 race cars to the track. So basically they handed it over to the person who was responsible for making those cars, the head of their racing department. And the result was the fastest car transporter in the world. Welcome to another episode of GNS Miniatures. So today we have the Blue Wonder, or the Mercedes Renntransporter 1/18 scale by I scale. So we'll be unboxing this model, taking it out, doing a photo shoot of it, showing you guys what this model is about, and basically doing a review of it. And together with this, we also got this Mercedes W196 that will go on top of this. Okay, before we talk about the model, let's take the model out and see. But before you take the model out, make sure you wear some gloves to protect the model. This box will say which is the top, which side is front, and you rip these tapes from the sides. So we got a plain version of the Mercedes W196, no racing stickers on this. It's a plain body, plain car. So let's take this car out as well. It's relatively quick to take one of these out. And you can display it nicely like that. So, Rudolf Uhlenhaut, the man responsible for most of the 1950s Mercedes race cars, the W194 race car, the W196 Formula 1 cars, and the W198 Gullwing, even the Uhlenhaut Coupe and the Mercedes Renntransporter or Blue Wonder. Before we talk about this model, let's take a little bit of time to talk about the actual transporter. Made in 1955, Mercedes wanted it to be really fast because they wanted to transport their racing cars and the Formula 1 cars to racing tracks around Europe from Germany. So Rudolf Uhlenhaut placed a 3-liter straight-six direct injection engine right in the center of this model, straight out of the W198, the famous Gullwing, a sports car engine in racing car transporter. That was the craziest idea at that time, but it made this transporter the world's fastest racing car transporter ever made, 105 miles per hour in 1955. Mercedes decided to withdraw from racing after a horrific accident at Le Mans. Without any racing, the Blue Wonder had no job. So in 1967, Mercedes made a horrible decision to destroy the only existing version of the racing car transporter. But in 1993, Mercedes Classic decided to rebuild the Mercedes Transporter and make a replica of it using archive photographs. After 6,000 labor hours and 7 years, Mercedes finally finished the Blue Wonder, and the replica version is now available to everyone to see at Stuttgart, the Mercedes Museum. Now let's take a closer look at this model. Scale model has some really good details, has a really good weight to it. It's a sealed model. Actually, you can't open the doors or the engine cover or the service hatch on it, but that gives you really nice shut lines, and it does have directional wheels. And I like the steering mechanism on this as well, because as you can see, the steering does move when you turn these front wheels, and you can see the steering mechanism there. This is actually smoother and better on this model than the CMC version. You get Mercedes-Benz race car Renntransporter, so that's, I think, German. And if you have a look at the interior, that's all real fabric. I think that's the same as the Formula 1 car. You get a nice mesh there, a real mesh. The lenses are nice. Now this Mercedes badge, let's see whether we can focus on that. That's a really nice Mercedes badge there. So overall, really nice details on this I-Scale model. These ramps are fixed ramps that we have on this, all stainless steel. On the CMC model, you get small hooks here where the retainer latches can be attached to on the front and on the back. On this I-Scale, you don't get that. And on the CMC and even on the actual transporter at Stuttgart, there's a small marking here which says max speed 105 mph. But this model doesn't have that. But when you look at historic pictures, some pictures it doesn't appear there, but on some pictures, I think at a later stage it was applied. Then we have a rear view of this. Now this badge wasn't there on the original, but when it was remade by Mercedes, it had been added, as well as I think these reflectors were added at a later stage as well. But so this is the actual model that is available in the Stuttgart Museum. So it's overall a really nice model with the spare wheels and all the details there. Now let's take a look at the 1/18 scale W196. Now it's very light for a die-cast model, but moderately detailed as well. The undercarriage is somewhat detailed, and you get detailed wire wheels that does spin nicely, and the mesh there you can see the inside, the Mercedes emblem there, and the front wheels are actually slightly directional. There's a opening there. Then you get fabric seats, little bit of carpet there, and some details. I think the gear shift is there, and the tubular frame, you can see a little bit of that, and some details in there as well, and the gauges there with a little windshield there. So this makes for a nice model to keep on top of this transporter. Now let's take a look at how these models look on an outdoor shoot. Hope you enjoyed the review and the photo shoot of this model. So if you guys like this video, give us a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell icon so you get notifications whenever we upload new videos. Also, like us on Facebook and on Instagram, GNS Miniatures. See you guys later with another video review of a model car. Bye-bye.